Um, this is, it's almost like a fruit that come off of that big cactus plant we got out there. That my daughter got a cutting a while back, and we got it out there in the yard, and it bloomed, and then these things come behind the bloom. It's kind of cracked open on that side, and it smells fruity. I'm just wondering if that's an edible fruit that you can get off of that thing. I wish I knew the name of that cactus. I don't know. I'm gonna go outside and take a picture of it. Maybe y'all can tell me. But it smells good, and it's kind of soft. It smells fruity. I don't know. This is Reese's, one of our newest additions. He's 3 or 4 months old, or she is. We got another one from the same litter. It's a male. All right, Reese, jump down. You ain't gonna scratch on my leg now. Jump. I should have never picked her up. She's real needy. You know what? I got a story, but first I want to show you something. I don't know. I don't know what the name of this cactus is. It's that big one my daughter got from some guy. And we planted it, it's rooted. And it started having flowers, and then on the end of this thing right there was the flower. And then these things started out green, and now they're kind of a peachy color, you know, and they smell good. I don't know if they would be edible or not. Does anybody know what these are? And can you eat fruit off of a cactus? I don't know. Anyhow, I've got a story. Actually, I got a couple, but I'll do one in this video and one on the next one. The story is about a bunch of Pearson cousins back in the summer of about maybe 1954, something like that. I was spending the summer at Aunt Mamie's, and that's Frankie, my first cousin. That was Aunt Mamie's boy. And about 3 big peanut fields and cotton fields over from us was a store that was called Kitty Bells. I don't know, it was a country store, it was a general store, it was a feed and seed store. There was always getting produce in. They sold a lot of hardware and stuff and pieces that you hitch up to a mule to pull your plow. They sold the plows. It was a general store. Big old building. It was a wooden building, wooden floors, wooden walls, wooden roof. And of course there was no air conditioning, but there was these big old-fashioned ceiling fans that hung from the ceiling that kept the air moving in there. They had a candy bar counter, you know, go in there and get your candy bar. They had drinks. You go in there and get in that box thing, get you a Pepsi or a Coke or Orange Crush or a Chew-Aid, and get you a pack of Goobers. And for those that don't know what Goobers are, they're peanuts, solid peanuts. And you go outside and sit on that bench and open that bag of Goobers and pour some of them into the drink itself. I don't know how that got started, but that's what you did. You poured the peanuts in your drink, and you drank your drink and get a little Goobers at the same time. And we were just hanging around out front, you know. I don't know what the attraction was, but every once in a while, a big old truck would come in, you know, didn't have a top on it, didn't have doors, but it's almost like a dump truck. And that thing was full of watermelons. And I guess Kitty Bell, the guy would come in with the truck, and they'd start unloading that stuff in a big pile outside, right on the side door of the store. And of course, us boys, we was barefooted, and all we had on was a pair of pants. We didn't have no shirt on. And we would and when nobody was looking, we'd snatch a watermelon and take off with it. We'd go down there in the woods. We did that probably every time that truck come with a load of watermelons. And we'd go down there in the woods and we'd eat them watermelons. And one day, of course, it's bound to happen. Kitty Bell's husband saw us doing it. We didn't know it, but he saw us doing it. He saw where we went. And he come down there in the woods. We was all sitting around there eating watermelon, and he caught us. And back then, you did what the grown-ups told you to do. And there was 4 of us. And he took us back to Kitty Bell's store. We knew we was in deep doo-doo. And he took us to the store and he told Kitty Bell, and Kitty Bell's like, what am I gonna do with you boys? And so Kitty Bell wrote us a note and we were all cousins. And Aunt Mamie had a telephone, and back then the telephone number, there wasn't an area code. The telephone number was just 4 numbers, and they had to call. They had to call the operator and give her the number. She was at a switchboard and she'd send it to the number. But anyway, she knew Aunt Mamie's telephone number, and she wrote 4 notes. And she asked her husband how many watermelons did he think it was. And I think it was just 5. One of them got 2 watermelons. They were small ones, but the rest of us got 1. So she figured up how much them watermelons would have cost if she'd have sold them. Miss Kitty Bell. And and she gives each one of us a note to take to Aunt Mamie. And she said, and I'm calling Mamie. Everybody knew everybody by name. Telling Aunt Mamie that we had to report into the store the next morning. It must have been around 6:30 or something. The store opened early. And we had to spend the day there working to pay for those 5 watermelons. And we worked our tail off loading. We was having to load feed and seed, and had to carry watermelons out to the customer's cart, or some of them had cars, some of them had a horse and buggy, or mule and a wagon and stuff like that. And some of us actually had, they would walk to the store, the customer walked to the store and they wanted a watermelon, and Kitty Bell would sell them a watermelon, and then one of us boys would have to carry that watermelon to that lady's house. Oh, I got 2 of them jobs where I had to carry it to the house. And somebody coming there that day, a customer, I can't remember who it was, but we knew her. And the customer said, "Oh, that's awful nice of you working these boys, you know." And she said, "I didn't hire them. They're just working off stealing watermelons yesterday." Oh my God. And we just kind of hung our head, you know. Yeah, we did. Oh my goodness. But I love going in that store. I wished it was still around, but it's long gone. All that cities around there now, that used to be out in the country. But yeah, Aunt Mamie. And what is, when Kitty Bell called the house, she didn't get Aunt Mamie. She got Uncle Jack. It wouldn't have been so bad if she'd have got Aunt Mamie. She got Uncle Jack. And the next day after we worked off the watermelon price, Uncle Jack took our butts to the field, and we had to work in cotton, chopping weeds and stuff. We had to go in there as extra punishment. And Uncle Jack stuttered. And he always had a a bag of Bull Durham tobacco stuck in his top pocket. And Bull Durham was a sack of tobacco and rolling papers. He rolled his own cigarettes. He could roll a nice cigarette. And Uncle Jack, every once in a while, Uncle Jack would go off his rocker. In other words, he'd take off and nobody'd know where he was at, and they wouldn't see him for a few days. And he'd come back, and he done went and bought 3 or 4 cars. And they come in on this trailer thing, you know. It wasn't like the car carriers are today. And I don't know what it was with him, but he'd go off his rocker, and every time he did it, though, Aunt Mamie'd pack him up and take him to Dix Hill, which is Dorothea Dix State Hospital, a mental hospital. They call it Dix Hill. He done that several times. One time, when he was older, he started driving a taxi. Yeah, he started driving a taxi. And and he had somebody he took, and they lived in the house right next to his and Aunt Mamie's house. And Aunt Mamie and some of the other cousins stuff standing out there, and Uncle Jack dropped this lady off, and she wouldn't pay him. Or it wasn't a lady, it was a man. And he wouldn't pay him. And Uncle Jack jumped out there and grabbed him by the shirt collar and dragged back to hit him, and his pants fell down. I didn't see that, but that was told at the family reunion one time. Yeah, he couldn't hold his pants up. Uncle Jack. He was in the Navy in somewhere in the early 30s. He wasn't in the World War II, but he was in the Navy in the early 30s. And that was the only thing I didn't like about staying at with Frankie during the summer. Uncle Jack had these cotton fields and peanut fields and stuff that he had, and we had to go work in them. I didn't lie. And he'd get us up early, and we had to work a full half a day before he'd let us loose. And by half a day, I mean around 1 o'clock, he would let us loose. And we'd head to the house, and Aunt Mamie, she worked at a mill, and she was already gone to the mill when we got off, but she fixed lunch, and it was always sitting on the table. It was a bowl of butter beans with pastry in it. It was some kind of meat or something. And usually taters, all fixed and sitting on the table, and then she had a big tablecloth spread out over it to keep the flies off. And boy, that woman could cook. Man, I love going to get lunch that she'd made. But she worked at a mill. It was a cotton mill of some sort. I'm not sure what she did. I think she said she was a winder or something like that. But she worked there. She worked there 30 years. And she walked back and forth for years before she started driving. It was about a mile away. We was right on the edge of town. That little section we lived in was called Hornertown. And it was dirt roads and everything, you know. Everybody had an outside toilet and had a well that you pumped with a handle, you know, and everything. But that was good old days. Man, I wish I could do that again and know what I know now. And you know, I wasn't raised when I was with my mom and daddy before they divorced and everything. I wasn't raised to go to church and all that stuff. I mean, we went to a church school and everything. We had some kind of religious stuff, you know, but for the most part, it was non-existent. And when I would be staying with Frankie, Sunday morning, Aunt Mamie would go to Sunday school and the service. And Frankie and Lewis knew that they had to at least be there for the Sunday service. And she'd be gone, and Uncle Jack would be gone. And I used to question them boys. I said, Mom and Daddy's not here to make you go, so why are you going? And Lewis said, by Grabs, I'll tell you what, you don't go. You don't show up there today, and you'll find out what happens. They would tear your tail up. And I took him at his word. I went. But I couldn't understand, well, why they not here to make you go, so why are you going? Oh, man. Uncle Jack, he was spanking his boys when they was about 16 and 17 years old. And I was present one day when he was going to spank Frankie. Because what happened, Frankie, Uncle Jack told him, well, I need to go out to the field and do this, and Frankie said something like, damn it, or something like that. And quick as he said it, he knowed he was in deep doo-doo. Quick as he said it, he looked, then he just took off running, and Uncle Jack was right behind him. And then it's going through that house, round and round. Went on for about 15 to 20 minutes, and Uncle Jack never could catch him. I thought that was so funny, because I never seen Frankie afraid of nothing. That was my favorite cousin. He's the one that passed away a few months back with COVID-19. He got that. He wouldn't get a shot. Of course, if he'd got a shot, that don't mean he wouldn't have got it, you know, but he wouldn't get shots. But I sure got a lot of memories of that boy. I got another one for tomorrow's video. Me and Frankie and two other boys that wasn't cousins about the drive-in theater. That's all I'll say about that. Oh yeah. Man, the good old days. Time gone by. Folks, this is going to be a short video, so I'll see you in the next one. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm chuckling just thinking about it. We sure worked our behind off at Kitty Bell's. You had to get in that store to know what I'm talking about. That thing, it was just fantastic. They had everything. They had, I think you could even buy groceries in there. I can't remember. I know they had candy bars and stuff like that and cold drinks. I know if you needed stuff for the farm, like a single tree or something that's hooking up your mule to the wagon or to the plow, you could buy a single tree. And I'm not going to tell you what a single tree is. You probably don't know. If you do, put in the comments below that you know what a single tree is. And just all kind of, collars that goes around their mule's neck and all that stuff. They sold all that stuff in there. They didn't sell tractors. They sold plows. And they sold this one thing. I don't know what to call it, but a hay rake. But it raked hay and throwed it to one side, made hay rows. They sold them. And Kitty Bell's husband one time, he was always going out and he liked to barter. You never knew what he was going to come back with. He come back one time with a pair of mules. I don't know what he ever did with them. And I don't even know his name. His wife's name was Kitty Bell. All right, that's my story, folks, and I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Oh my goodness. GoPro, stop recording.